Welcome back to this channel. So this video is going to be about my first draft of my personal statement for PA school. And you'll also see the comments that I got from my PA mentor, as well as the final product of my personal statement. So what I submitted CASPA with. So if you're interested, keep watching. All right, so here is my personal statement, the first draft or the first few notes that I had for applying to PA school. This was done in 2014, so bear with me here. I believe this was the prompt that they had, and I know I wanted to start off with a vivid description of dance because I wanted to draw the reader in. I decided, I think, to have drum beats at the beginning and to really hook in the reader. I wanted them to understand the energy and the passion I had when I was performing on stage. I wanted to focus on this charity event we did for this performance, and I wanted to also tell the reader how many hours I spent rehearsing with my team. I went to UC Riverside for school, and I actually traveled to UC Irvine, which is 100 miles round trip, 3 to 7 times a week. I love dancing, and I really wanted to showcase that. Dancing for the kids that didn't have the means to, so we wanted to raise money to have a dance facility for the kids in Kenya, I believe. So I was asking myself, how can I translate this into academics? I mean, it did. I got really poor grades, so I mean that's how it translated. But I didn't answer that because I knew it was kind of negative. I believe this was the actual prompt at that time. So I kept the same drum beats. I brought in the kind of details from when I was dancing on stage. I got really cheesy here. This was the greatest feeling I've ever felt, and the reason I love dance so much. And I asked myself later some questions here. Do I pick dance? Do I pick school? And I kind of verbalized my thinking here. I transferred to USC my junior year. I discontinued dance because I was trying to just focus up on my studies. My grades improved, but I just felt really empty because I didn't have dance or performance. And so I transitioned into kind of the medical field. I wanted to possibly talk about neurology or neuroscience because that was my major. I researched opportunities to kind of get myself better informed. I was able to volunteer here, which is really awesome because that's where I first discovered the PA position. I was able to shadow that PA for a long time. And I felt like this is kind of where it all jump-started everything. I wanted to focus on team-based work and on underserved populations. Moreover, I went to volunteer in South Central, and I translated as best as I could for an eye center there. I think this is just me explaining a scenario where I was helping a mother and son out. This next paragraph, I believe it's another version of that paragraph. Instead, I added some Spanish here to kind of make it more interesting and to bring the reader into that encounter with me. I think I highlighted this or made this bold, not make it bold. I think I made this in all caps because I wanted to take it back to dancing maybe because I felt the same kind of passion or adrenaline rush like I did in dancing. So I talked more about volunteering. I went to Africa, to Tanzania, to kind of help with medical clinics there. I had a travel journal that had a lot of details, so I wanted to check back on that. And this is me kind of bringing in the details of what happened in Tanzania. And these are specific stories that I maybe wanted to include. So these are all just like brainstorming ideas, I think. And I think I wanted to bring back dance and how I can connect the two ideas. So yeah, this is a pretty rough, choppy version of my first draft, I think. I couldn't find the other drafts, but I do have my final that I'll show you guys in a little bit. So I don't have my other drafts saved somehow, but I do have comments on my second draft that I'll show you here. This was done by a PA that was my mentor. She had me kind of correct my grammar up here. She wanted me to transition my first paragraph better. It was very abrupt. I wanted to know if I can elaborate more on my passion for dance and how that was able to transition into patient care. PA and doctor time. PAs do spend more time with patients. So she wanted me to focus on why PA specifically, but don't put the other professions down. Elaborate why you chose PA in itself. How your experiences shaped you to be a PA. The skills you gained, teamwork, whether it was from school, volunteering, dance, outside activities. For example, she said, dance taught you teamwork, leadership. Shadowing an ortho PA showed you passion and fascination in diagnosing and treating. Volunteering exposed you to underserved communities that you want to help with. Condense the stories into the main points and save the elaboration for supplemental applications or interview. All right, 2 years later, 2016. So this was my final draft. I, as you can tell, kept it the same. This whole bit right here is me talking about how I felt so alive dancing on stage. To my surprise, I experienced the same joy when I shadowed the PA in the ortho clinic that I talked about earlier. Then I transitioned into a story about a patient that I was able to contribute a diagnosis on and for. I found the second opinion from the physician reassuring. So I was talking about the PA and MD collaboration here, just very ecstatic about the communication and teamwork. I began to see the similarities between dance and medicine. So that's how I connected dance and kind of my newfound thing, medicine. And I kind of did another analogy here. Communication and teamwork in both fields generated considerable products, dance routines, and great patient care. The next paragraph I talked about my EMT experience and how that was more communication and teamwork. However, I noticed that the EMT patient care is very transient in contrast to the PA profession. So I talk more about how PAs that I've shadowed have more in-depth interactions with their patients, and I was kind of jealous essentially as an EMT, and that's why I wanted to be a PA. And then I talk about my MA experience, where I had the same thing. I just wanted to do more for my patients. So I go into at length a story about how a patient asked me this one question and how I knew all the information because I've seen this time and time again. However, as a MA, I wasn't able to answer this, so I would always defer, and it just ate at my soul every day. And so I wanted to be a PA because of this. I wanted to do more for my patients. And then I talked about my Tanzania trip, and I put some Swahili in there to make it a little spicy. And so I wanted to show that compassion is needed, whether you're here, whether you're in Africa. And I believe I ended it like that. So I had 3-ish stories I talked about, well, 4 including the dance one. So my last paragraph is a reiteration of all my stories, just so that the reader is aware of my reasons for pursuing PA. And I believe I was almost at the limit. So there you have it. That's kind of what my personal statement looks like. I'm still cringing at it, but I feel like it was a lot better than my first few notes and first few drafts. There you have it. That's my final draft that I submitted to CASPA on my 3rd attempt of getting into PA school. So hopefully that was helpful for you. It was a struggle for me, but I eventually got there. So don't give up, stay determined, have a lot of people edit your personal statements. So if you found this video helpful at all, please like it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so that I can create more videos like this for you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all your views, your comments, and your suggestions. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.